So Kundalini, again, is not something that you want to hurry up and rush in doing. Kundalini is not technically described properly in the community as something that you just sit there by yourself and you try to rise only through breaths. You're getting a part of it, but actually what it's really about is understanding the as above, so below, which is the female and the male and how they connect. How if I touch a woman's hands like this, my opposite and her positive and her negative are opposite to my positive and negative, which makes us jump off. Basically, it makes us actually connect. And then there's more to it. How to clean out her channel. See, let's talk about this very briefly. And this is, again, let us understand the work that's actually ahead of us and why we want to continuously do the best to support our teachers that are still aware of this level of knowledge. Now, what's happened to even the woman or the womb is that the female is an extension of the Great Mother. And the Great Mother is bringing all of these beings into life right now. But she's always going through issues and problems, fights, quarrels, bombs, death. It's happening right now. So as a mother, her womb needs to be cleared, okay? Because that's how her energy and her manifestations work. So what Tantra is Tantra shows how what could be possibly the sun clears the earth's Kundalini, okay? By showing that the man can actually do this to the woman. And what happens is, for a man that understands Tantra, and he doesn't even have to touch the woman, by the way, he just works with her field. And in this process, you'll start seeing her go through what is a very strong orgasm. And then at a certain point, she will peak in her orgasm, and then it will flip from all of this enormous pleasure into all of this hurt and pain. So you'll watch her go from this ultimately aroused state to now start crying and sobbing and all of this. And of course, for anyone who's not a master playing around with Kundalini, you start seeing this happen and you disconnect for a moment, which could be detrimental to her, because what she's going through is she's going through the cleansing process. And then in the cleansing process, since everything is the memories or the information, she's going through these memories and information of her pain. And what happens is that is corrected and restored. All of that is then basically replaced with the feeling of comfort, the feeling of stability. And then when she gets through all of that, her womb is clean. Her womb is clear. And when her womb is clear, her projections are like 10x, 20x, 50x. And this is what they know, again, in these occult societies that are still functioning. That's why there's so much desolation on the sacred feminine. And another thing, when everybody may think, or some may think, that this is predominantly propagated by the masculine energy, you're incorrect. On the physical plane, males don't actually have the type of power that it takes to completely dominate and control the realm, because the realm is water. It's 70% water, so that's the percentile. So the being that is mostly water is going to rule. So that unlocks, as we talked about in not G.H. Reeves, but Glenn Keely went to his death trying to explain to people about the Moho Mandan covens and priestess crafts that were still out in the Black Forest, etc., where basically you had women that were attacking other women's wombs. You had a part of that spectrum of the Pleiades. You had certain women that had aligned themselves with the death and the abortions and the destruction of other women's children. And it's only their power that is strong enough to hold so much of the realm under sway of continuously perpetuating the atrocities going on right now against women. And just like in a lion faction, which is the model again of the cat of what's happening in this sphinx and this chimera that most of us are built with, in that sanctum, the male is not the one out hunting. The male is not the one. The male is back there taking care of the kids. The most dangerous predator, if you may, was the female lion. So again, that's why those are our protectors, but our protectors can also be our destroyers. That's the yin and that's the yang. Where do we want to be? In the balance. In the balance, away from the extremes, like processing the energy, digesting the energy, rooting ourselves in it, and then going forth from there. You know, if you get to something and it is just starting to make you fly off and you can't make any sense of it, you need to take one moment, step back, ground, because this is not Voltron and Transformers and My Little Pony and all of the rest of these programs that have been running to make you think that it's just all a game. If it's a game, it's a high stakes game, and what you can lose is your life. So if you invested already 25, 30 years, 15 years, 60 years into this venture, you need to basically make sure that something comes from this. I don't need to be a venture capitalist to know that. I need to make sure that something comes from my venture here on this planet and all of what I'm investing in here with my time and my energy. And you only can seat yourself into that when you know where you come from. That's why sometimes, man, you just got to sit back and say, man, look at your ancestors. Go inside, see your DNA. Look where you come from. I don't have to accept anything that's not in alignment with the higher truth. And the higher truth is, you can sit someone balanced in front of it and they'll tell you every time what is what.